Well, this is also from breeding. I think since you're showing breeding, you get this, which makes me wonder if these are these. Oh, that's right. Yeah. They were asking about breeding. I would say, yeah, breeding is probably.
Flowers with your September block, Madison FFA. If you can show me your way down to the holding area, please. Flowers, Madison FFA September block.
Also playing the class we've seen so really excited here in Philly, New Zealand.
This in terms of the skill balance, capacity, sound, and function. And this how that makes this this how around and she's in the forward, almost now she goes back to a center portion of the page. She comes back to the back to us and leaves it the same way. That is all pretty good in terms of this. How she's putting it down, how powerful she is feeling power self and like that woman off the wall. And the other thing that is real similar, when she stood on the camera out, she turned just two chest in, how much now she was on how big she was out of her pins. This one last time come out, she's left the only left thing and ever so sadly. You say this and then you want to hit, once you were sure and super near out of your pin set. I want to pick her up in the lengthen her hip out ever so slightly and sort her up in her front feet and she turns and comes out at you. Well, certainly a very active person here. When you see that one coming away and going after going away from me, just the plan of this power pack through that on the other side, coming in and through is an animal similar to the classroom in terms of how she's built from the side. Huge form in front, way there. Then when you get off to the side, tall shoulders, great length, the long, how forward she is back to her feet, the curve she is, how she crosses that knee. When she tries to get out away from the knee, she's going to lift her at the back. And when she pulls up there, I just want to spin her out, see her just grab and just slow this and not throw off of your shoulder. Then you know, I think that's an awful good female when you step off to the side, make sure you go to the front back. Relative forward, and then when she's kind of fat free when you get out here and slow this one, one to his deep body, one you can pick up and go. If she decides she probably needs to be absolutely not. I want to make her solid on the foundation. I want to start on when you just get out on top of that, one wants to do the most, you're going to come up and run away, and you can certainly not go like this about it. But when you run this is good, it's even now, you know, when it's like a ton of power, now it's not acting out, she's run away, huge time when you get right up on top of that one, she's got that attitude, that's probably a big position line, she has a really, really good chance to get some power of open for this weapon, she's really short with eight, that's how she went from down to the football, we all have much power on that's packing too, not so good, she's in shape behind as well. We're going to have to find some of our body straps, there's 4 in this class. And our dry blocks and 12th place is the Blue Southwest FFA, 11th place, Jordan Trevino in Central FFA, 10th place, Dakota West Center in Central FFA, 9th place, Haley Bratton, Helotes Unlimited, 8th place, Lynn Hope, O'Connor FFA, 7th place, Cole Payton, Southside FFA, 6th place, Steve Garcia, Southside FFA, 5th place, Conceptual Gates, Southwest FFA, 4th place, True Valley. So one will have that, these not cuts, is that good enough for me? I just need to see that one. It sounded sure on the one that's going to be 4th. Another one, down the 4th, huge, it's not the bone when you say that and just like the surface, you can step right behind that and she's right there with me. So I think she's perfect in terms of how she's a single door for that. And she wants to do it up right there and go and push her hot behind her throat. That's a one of the left top 10 and they're so sorry. I think they're just more interested in the one that's going to be second. That's going to be second from the side. Gives you even more of the one that's extended up there 100 ways. And we'll see that some extension there where you started from beneath the body. This is just some place up there and out you to roll away. Shoot straight over the surface of the side up there. That's where it goes. Second results, in second place is Kyle Charles with Madison FFA, and first place is Ian Toronto with East Central FFA. Congratulations. It's very unfortunate because I will see some competition. This is a very good animal see with that. Let's talk about her doing radio in terms of how she's assembled from the side, how bold she is there for her center pins and body, yet she can reach out and go and throw. She's stepping behind that one. She pushes, and she probably gets a touch of her power when you get right in behind her before she gets to San Antonio and do a big day. Don't get Ballon as an awful back reach. I'd rather have Ballon on that string right now. That's a very nice one to see. In the land race, first event, Thank you, LeBron. August, Poland, China. Delaney Morrison, Madison, FFA. If you can start making your way to the holy area. August, Poland, China. Delaney Morrison, Madison, FFA. Second call, August, Poland, China, Delaney, August, Poland, China, Delaney. Another announcement, we'll have our July Summit Poland Championship be in the waiting area. We're going to also start having our August Summit Poland This time we should have some of our August Saturday Poland China in the living area. remember, if you want to take a photo with your animal, livestockphoto.com is right here in the corner to the left of the ranching booth. So if you want to take a picture with me, that's how she worked herself down to the keyboard. All the three things is everyone is super powerful when you say that and come on out after. She's huge power. She's the kind of deep over to the wind coat. It's also starts to her plant. The fuck who throws her out on the tree? I'm the safety today. And just when you step right in behind that one, she ain't having her heart good enough. She wants to get outside herself and roll her heart. I need a real hot back here and you see that when they're talking about how she goes to run off the European. She's just grabbing you and across the center of the ring and will throw her from the hot to the surface. But I think the front two plays down and awful good. And she chooses to be slow down on her first line so she can pull over hot back inside her strength. And forwards and moving down the right side field, I'm going to go out to color in those shots like that. But I think that was really cool when you say I guess the practical pieces of will to time as a function. She has all those. We want to go on and break her shoulders down and how she actually uses her highway. I think she's just uncoordinated. She's just not sure when her feet are going to need all her stuff. And I think we should slow down over so far that she'll really appear there. She wants to swing, roll it, every time she takes a step up her routine, it's something different now. She just needs unsure her first and then time to cover her hot kind of fishes all around in herself. And I'm just going to see that one more secure when you step out of behind it. Please see her around after half time. One side is kind of nice and one side is mixed. So don't just outside and that's off the way. So once you do a little twist and trying to lose it, don't push it behind her so hard. Also rolls out and you step on behind her. Nice set of side work to the behind her as well. Continuing the bar, we're talking about our July Yorkshires. You can start making your way to the holding area. July Yorkshires, you can start making your way to the holding area, please. Our July started playing China in 9th place is Stephen Gallagher, Southside FFA. 8th place, Evan River, Southwest FFA. 7th place, Alexis Sandoval, Southside FFA. 6th place, Emily Duffy, O'Connor FFA. 5th place, Shonda Brooks, Madison FFA. 4th place, Jasmine DeVoe, Southwest FFA. 3rd place, Alyssa Withers, Southwest FFA. 2nd place, Celestino Chacon, Southwest FFA. And in 1st place, Lawson Taylor, East Central FFA. Congratulations. Coming into the National Summit for August, March 2020, we have 6 single spots. And then also if I can get in the bar area, and if I can start having our July Yorkshires, if you can start making your way to the holding area, that will be our last class for the breeding division. The Yorkshire July class, if you can start making your way to the holding area.
Not much, but still. Yeah, so keep it up.
Well, that's exactly how yes, you're right. You're right. Completely. But still,
You ready?
Actually, we want to let you sign up in the feature, line them up as they come right out, just instead of pulling through the sort of running phone. Now, August, started coming to you, and sixth place is Alfred Garcia, Southwest FFA. Fifth place, Molly Griswold, Southwest FFA. Fourth place, Oscar Estrada, Southwest FFA. Third place, Henry Fish, Lotus Ranch, LSP. Second place, Stephanie Beck, Purdy from Reach. And in fourth place, Danica Sanchez, Southwest FFA. Congratulations. At this time in the Hopi area, we should have our July Yorkshires. This is our last class of the day for the meeting. July Yorkshire should be in the Hopi area. Everyone, please listen up. We have a Chevy truck, Jose Morales, a Chevy Tahoe, Katie Rose, and a Dodge Journey, Mary of Sherman Hills. Please move your vehicles. If the vehicles will not be moved, they will be towed. Again, Chevy truck, Jose Morales, Chevy Tahoe, Katie Rose, and a Dodge Journey, Mary of Sherman Hills. We're walking the ground in the front by the fence.
Don't worry about it.
comes around this time to get out there and around. Women just want to feel most comfortable when you talk about emotion. It's not a big deal get out and go. First you have to be when you get right up on top of it, and one way the first class to be your champion spot. You talk about that when you're accepted behind the goal and catching up to one with top food in. Everyone who's the last time, we just doesn't have a really grab his ear and kind of show it across there and talk about her. Again, when you're setting that one up again, how big she is at the ground, how sound she is in her down there, but you guys want to get out and go on the side and get out and go across there, bring that really relative force in terms of just the look and the balance and the soundness, how it's not going an awful lot. Then it was the second class of the year, which was in the Friday Pony Tournament, our reward champion is Dominican Sanchez with Southwest FFA, and our blue champion is Nelson Taylor with East Central FFA. Congratulations.
Are we going to take a break after this for the lunch break?
Market classes are posted right here at the end of the bar.
That's a quick announcement for our market. If you are interested in where the market classes are, they're posted here at the end of the portable building, the main office building. If you want to come look at that, they're posted and ready for you to review. And our last reading class today is on July 4th, so there's 12 in this class. Once we complete this class, we will have our grand champion drive. For the grand champion drive, if you were a breed or reserve breed champion, please have your animal ready to go after the works. We will be having the grand champion drive for the breeding show.
Yes, then I was waiting to get this guy's class done, and then after that, this last class set. It's going to be, car charger. Do you have a power block for it?
I'll be plugging it into your battery.
Perfect. Okay. My wife's going to get it.
Again, if you are a breed champion or a reserve breed champion, please start bringing your animal into the holding area for the grand champion drive. And if you are a breed champion or a reserve breed champion, please start bringing your animal up to the holding area for the drive.
Last class. Reading. And you guys are going to do a 30-minute break in between? I don't know. Okay. And so I would say,
After we have our ranch and driver, we also going to have our breeding showmanship. So I'm going to call off some numbers. We're going to hang them up. And I have a list of who the announcers with as well. I'm just going to call these numbers off while we're waiting. Our senior showmanship number 958, 976, 961, 979, 926, 917, 973, 988, 977, 985, and 728. Our junior showmanship, we have 345, 377, 347, and 312. We will give a showmanship after the grand champion drive.
If you want it here.
This is about a couple of being this means I was responsible on myself and wonderful work for me and being on such and so that because it's similar to as well. I think it's just the most comfortable. It's perfect after what we have accepted behind me, a lying down the foundation, we want to live out the angle of the children. And we actually started around the year going across the other ones, the other enough valley, the other enough forest, the other enough mountain, the other enough on top of it. She's just the most comfortable. We're on the service, places and roads. We just want to sort her out there at the down and we step out in behind her. Again, I think she's the most comfortable, and that's how she works up the room to me. So, for one that you want to use and you can show them all afterwards and then it's in second. This is the one that is the most open off, has the biggest laugh, has the biggest pink set, and then it still has the most beautiful and we step right in behind her. She doesn't use her left house with them, she wants to roll them up to her in and just kind of pull them both together and kind of drop her grip till she takes the step, and then suddenly you find that she has the gear and finds herself comfortable as she goes across the center of the ring. And certainly you keep looking at her plays out there, just sitting still. She's laughing and you can just not know she's comfortable right off of herself. And one of the things we're going to start is the one that's going to be first. This one's a little family member of the surface part of Dallas in the rib shape, the heart attack to the heart. And when you say this and turning down, she's starting her choice is going to be just lifting her out to going away. This one is the base on feet, just on groceries. I think this is the background from juice like a member of somebody, and I think she could do that with a complete lady, remember, so she just needs to be flushed and pulled back to the front and back to the somebody. And laughing off a lot of things about that themselves and not a need for this on feet. When you get into the one and four, well, kind of needs to know this like all trying to be liking it, and she's not sure how happen. This is just too straight in on the shoulder, just she close up in her chest, and then just like usually hot with enough, that's get straight, short stepping off the rear too. I just need to have one more comfortable on herself, and same story for the other two too. I'm not the one that's got a very big back, a big pinch up, always the saddest bone on the entire set. This is just like that to the front, she gets super out of your hip, once the clothes on the ground, when she comes out after, that's the same when she goes away. I need to make it more comfortable and just sound off the rear too, to work up in the mindset of what you do those for the long run fast. Can I go and short please? Directing Griffin Southwest. Northwest 4H. 11 points Clark Griffin Southwest, Northwest 4H. And 10 points Mary West, Southside FFA. 9 points Grant Griffin Southwest, Northwest 4H. 8 points Seth Griffin Southwest, Northwest 4H. 7 points Harley Dixon, East Central FFA. 6 points Paul Sarks, East Central FFA. 5 points Joe Hood, East Central FFA. 4th points Lawson Taylor, East Central FFA. 3rd points Robert Robinson, East Central FFA. 2nd points Anastasia Gates, Southwest FFA. And 1st points Raul Guerrero, East Central FFA. We took our lead and have a statement Gates took our reserve. Congratulations.
Good morning, and we are here at the Bexar County Junior Livestock Show, and this is year 2021. This is the 59th annual Bexar County Junior Livestock Show, and I have not wanted to talk about the weather all week because I didn't want to jinx it, but I'm going to talk about it today because I don't think the weather will turn bad between now and the show.
One of the animals come back up, and we will start our Grand Champion Drive.
And what a great days of weather it has been. It's been warm. There hasn't been a rain. We haven't had a mud fest. We haven't had a sleet fest. It has not been stock show weather, and we have been thankful. And I am joined this morning with Richard Ricks, the president of the Bexar County Junior Livestock Show Association, and he's going to visit with us for a little bit. So what do you think about the weather? I'm going to ask that question first.
Showmanship numbers again, I was told people know everything posted up on the side of the building. Our senior showmanship, we have it 958, 976, 961, 979, 926, 917, 973, 988, 977, 985, and 728. Junior showmanship, we have 345, 377, 347, and 312.
Well, honestly, it reminds us of one of the things that we need that we put down on the list. We need fans in these barns.
Well, but it's much better than 2020 because last year you almost needed a pontoon boat to get from the...
Yes, we had one good day of rain and it makes a mess. So in our development, it's hard to handle a bunch of rain, but we've been blessed.
Well, and talking about development, let's jump off there. There are some priorities that the board has for the property itself, what would some of those priorities be?
Well, it seems to me that the first priority would be bathrooms, a bathroom facility, which out here, actually, even though we're in the city of San Antonio, it requires a septic system and stuff. So we are going to draw up some plans, just like everything, and pretty much start prioritizing, putting things in phases. So bathrooms would be really great. That would relieve a lot of pressure on the whole system. But the other things are going to be some parking lot paving, drainage. Then we can get the lights and power into the big building. It'll be much more useful. We can probably move the show a little bit into the bigger building and do one show there, one show in here. So we are right now, there's just a host of things to do that we have to start prioritizing and putting in phases. I believe I'm going to put it on the website once we kind of do that and put things out for bid.
Well, but let's talk about one quick change that you mentioned. You said something about being in the city of San Antonio. That's a new development, is it not?
It is. When we bought the property, and just before we started putting up the big building, we were going into the permit process, and we found out that we are going to be and did get annexed by the city of San Antonio, whereas before we were just county there, unincorporated.
But that's really not going to change.
It does not. It does not create any problem. It's a really permit process just makes you go through them instead of their county. But
so we talked about priorities. We talked about wanting to get the bathroom. We talked about wanting to put lights, power in the big barn, kind of finish it out so it's ready for show, and also for paving the parking lot so that people don't have to worry about if there is inclement weather. If I wanted to participate or if I wanted to contribute to those projects, how do I go about doing that?
the best possible way is probably send an email and give us your ideas. So I definitely look at probably every email that comes across. That is BCJLS@bcjls.com. I'm going to look at the emails, and somebody may have a good idea. They would say, hey, we'd like to do this. We'd like to put a bid on this. We will definitely look at it and look at our funding.
And speaking of funding, y'all are a 501c.
Yes, sir. 501c3. We're independent of any other organization.
Which also means that you're a charitable organization.
Yes, we are.
So if someone wanted to make an end-of-the-year donation to take advantage of the tax break, they could do that by going to the website, correct?
Absolutely.
There is a PayPal, I believe, button on the website. All they would have to do is click on it,
Yes, sir.
and then they could make whatever donation they wanted to do. And it is a reminder, with it being a 501c, it is a tax-deductible donation. So if you want to take advantage of that for this tax season or not, PayPal.
I think they represent each week really well. We're not all the same, we're not all the same time, we're not typical, right? They do like that for them to represent each week, that's to me, in terms of functionality, in terms of distributing and lift at the ground. They may put the X's in terms of remote, in terms of muscle, in terms of sadness at the ground, and I think that's where that is. So for me, it's a three-point donation we get out here. We talk about each of those three. We start with the Onyx, we talk about her, she was a soul to the Onyx originally. And that's a main individual. I just have a whole lot of things to this. The shape of the knee, pretty tough. Her education is back to her phone. Her motor shoes, when you step out with her emotions, she still gives you a fast look from the side. I know she's running these 50 questions. If she's standing up to her features, she's getting up to her ankle, when you get down, remember there's a big wheel out there, and she's just really enough for me. And that's the part I have to make on that one. And she's really enough. When you talk about the girl, I'm going to swing on the road page, and you're slow, she's going back to her flank, kind of playing the power when you get right up on top of her the other way. But she took a long enough step off the road too, and she's very similar when you step on the hand from the top of the hip, all the way to the surface. It's that step long enough, and that's why I think she might be, for me, I think she's so down, she's really on her, really affectionate. This one will take just another tapping kind of inch step after the move to push the kick behind your tail. This one will take something forward. This is there in terms of all the extra power, the extra softness, the extra brilliance of your single body. I like all those things about that, and just want to take a much longer step. Bigger picture deal. What up the outline in terms of your front for shoulder, front shift, front sitting shift, for the front part of the body. And getting out behind this, she takes a little funky step off the road too. And we talked about her in class, how she's just not the most functional. She wants to get ever so slightly out of herself, outside herself, and you step out behind her and not put her foot down the way I do my deal. But she needs the outline in terms of height of shoulder, length and extension up to the front one-third of her body, and just look as she goes across there. So for me, those three is a little bit kind of surface. I'm going to put them on down and go out and shake the hand of the one that's going to be supreme over all the way. This is a very nice set of Greek champions. They all deserve a big round of applause. Let's give them a round of applause and lift up our champions. We talked about those little blue out and one little store up on her front feet, and one put another out of her hip. There's another one out here that hit me hard when she hit the ring, and just in terms of her ring, how functional she is, how big she is in her cage, and yet how she still gets out functional. She's not the saddest at the ground, but the land cruisers usually right.
You got it?
I still don't know the difference in the breeding in the lightweights.
Our breeding show, our overall reserve champion is Lacey Gaston with the Landry's of East Central FFA. The buckle that she received was donated or sponsored by the Wiggs family. And our overall breed champion is her Gerard Josie Johnson with East Central FFA. And Cody Neal sponsored the belt buckle for her. Congratulations to all exhibitors. You did a wonderful job today. We are going to just pause for a moment.
I care, but
And we are going to start getting together our senior and junior showmanship. I'm going to announce the numbers again. So our senior showmanship, number 958, 976, 961, 979, 926, 917, 973, 988, 977, 985, and 728. Our junior showmanship is 345, 377, 347, and 312.
So we have finished 2021 almost. We have a few hours to go today, and then there's going to be an auction. But there was a thing called 2020. How has 2021 been different than 2020?
We didn't have to. We didn't have the COVID as bad. And all I mean is the COVID was new. They were shutting things down. We don't have the shutdowns this year. We still are going to follow the guidelines and do the safety thing. That safety is primary to us. So we didn't have to worry about not having the show at all. That's what we had.
And I guess that's where I was coming from. There was a lot less stress this year than last year.
For that, yes.
All the way up until almost the night before the show, you weren't quite sure whether the doors were going to open or not last year in 2020.
Yes, sir. It took me searching and contacting the Ag Commissioner's office for me to get a confirmation that we can do livestock shows.
And I mean, so this year you were actually able to focus in on the show.
Yep.
And,
Didn't have to worry about that.
Did not have to worry about the extra stuff. So that had to make it a lot easier for the board and the volunteers, did it not?
Yes. In fact, when we had it out here last year, we had so many compliments and so very few complaints that it was very easy. Early this year, we decided we're having it here. Boom. Set the date.
Well, and I think that might be the silver lining that came out of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, I believe it's always been a goal of the board and the organization that the show would return home. It would return to its own grounds instead of being at sale or somewhere else. And 2020.
Attention in the barn. My name is Mark Haverhorn. I'm the second vice president of the Bear County Junior Livestock Show. I'd like to thank you all for showing up today.
The smart guy.
I would like to. That's our president making jokes behind me.
On YouTube.
I'd like to point out a few of our sponsors. My company is up there, River City Oral Surgery, but more importantly, right next to them is Holt Caterpillar. You've seen the backhoe out here. Holt made a very generous donation to our organization recently. And then also, Ewald Kubota, same way. You may have seen on our Facebook page, I made a $10,000 donation, about a month ago?
Yes, sir.
And that was fantastic. It's going to help us to improve these facilities. We also have Rehoming Texas as a sponsor. Friesenham Trucking brought in the sand that we're using. Jeffrey Cattle Company bought a banner. I'd like to thank all of them. And then I'd also I'd like to point out we've got Beaver Livestock back here. I'm sure you guys all noticed that. And then I'd like to encourage you guys to take advantage of the vendors we've got here. The stir drinks are phenomenal. We've also got the taco truck. And then back here in the corner we've got our farm and range swag vendor.
Hey, good.
So some great t-shirts. I know that you can pick out the design you want for the shirt. You can pick out the color. She'll mix and match that for you and press it right there. She's got jewelry. She's got signs. A lot of great stuff there. So by you guys showing up, supporting us, supporting our vendors, and supporting our sponsors, you're helping us make this show better and better each year. So thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
And as we were talking about, so it had always been a goal, bring it home.
Yeah.
And it's here.
Yeah.
2020 kind of forced the board's hand in that.
It did. And we found out that, hey, even though the facility is not, as many put it, ready, and it's not, there's a lot of things to do, we had a nice show. It's relaxed because we do one species a day, basically. And it's a very relaxed show, and people seem to enjoy it. Granted, we've been blessed with great weather, but I've talked to many people, and they say, hey, if it's bad weather, it's a livestock show. We just deal with it.
So we found a silver lining to 2020, and that's a good thing. So now, especially that 2020 is hopefully in the rearview mirror, are entries up or down this year?
They're actually slightly up, not as much as we'd like. It seems that some clubs, even last year, they bowed out. They didn't want to come here. They started doing their own. And some have kind of warmed up. They said, hey, y'all did okay last year. We'll do it again. And we're so slightly up, but not where we want them to be, because the goal, of course, is a teaching organization, basically. I mean, or an education organization, I should say. We want to try to get as many kids involved as we can, especially with the urbanization that's happening all around us.
Well, but this show is also a perfect precursor to the majors, because Fort Worth will be in January. You have San Antonio in February,
yes,
Houston in February, and then Austin in March. So this is a great warm-up. It's a great opportunity for the animals to be exposed to a crowd, the showmen to be exposed to a crowd. But not only that, not only do the animals and the exhibitors get judged in the regular show, we're about to see Showmanship come up today, so they're getting to practice their showmanship skills. So this is a great warm-up before they get ready for the majors or for any other show that's coming up.
That is exactly right, but it's almost like you want to say this is a practice, but it's better than that. We offer nice belt buckles done by Legend. They make some great belt buckles, and those kids love those belt buckles, and I can see why. And so Showmanship is one of their pride and joys. I know my own kid has had several, and I've met kids that have 15, 20, 30 belt, and they just smile so big when they have those. So it is a tough competition, though. I mean, it's not like it's just practicing. It is a tough competition.
Oh, absolutely, because you see some very large classes. I mean, even in the breeding classes today, there were 12, 13, 14 entries inside of it. And not to mention there was some premium money being paid, too, so that's a good thing.
And we cover every school in Bexar County. And that's it's Bexar County kids, and they have to be going to school in Bexar County.
And that also includes private schools.
Yes. Homeschooling.
And homeschooling
We have
well,
several homeschooling groups. Because they can do a 4-H homeschooling group. They get the same opportunity as everybody else.
So it is open to everybody in Bexar County, and that's important to know.
And I'll mention that the kids, you said they go to the major shows. Not only the exhibitors get to go to the major shows, what they're exhibiting, for the most part, with our time frame, gets to go from here, because we do not actually sell the animal. There was a time, I think our last year of doing that was 2000. There was a time where we did an actual sale, but it got to where it fit in time. It was better that we had our show, and then they could go on to the next show. So many of the same animals show, and they have a much better chance of getting in our auction than they do at the major shows. But the major show is an experience I wouldn't deny any child.
Right, and to clarify that, this is not a terminal show, which means that the animal can leave here and show in another show. But Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston, Austin, they're all terminal shows. The animal enters the ground and it is not allowed to leave with the exhibitor again. And speaking of which, it is called payday, and it is the one payday that these exhibitors receive. Much like the Texas farmers and ranchers that are out there, they work hard all year, they raise their animal, or they raise their crop, and they have one payday, and that's the auction. We've got an auction coming up next Saturday.
Yes, sir. January 8th. It's going to be a Texas Pride barbecue. It's on 1604 in between 87 and 1346. I hope I got that right.
And that's a little change from last year, because last year it was at Bluebonnet Palace.
Yes, sir. And they hosted. They offered to host it, and it was wonderful there. But we got an offer from Texas Pride, Tony Blanco, and we're glad to get there.
Come up into the holding area. Once we're here, we're going to do our senior showmanship. That will follow with our junior showmanship.
And you're doing something a little different about the auction this year too. My understanding is that people can actually participate or bid online if they would like.
Yes, sir. Last year we did, there was a little live streaming on YouTube, and you could bid somewhat, but it wasn't in real time. This year, Showworks program that we use has offered us their auction program, and we are going to try it for the first time. Right now, registration is open online. Go to BCJLS.com. At our website, go to Auction of Champions, and there's a buyer registration. It's very, very simple. You register as a buyer. We require you to spend $500 or more to be listed as a buyer.
Senior showmanship, numbers 979, 926, oh, she's here, never mind, 979, 988, 977, and 728. Senior showmanship. We need the following individuals with their animals to come to the arena. 979, 988, 977,
Breeze ain't too bad. Feels good.
and 728.
So they need to spend $500 to be listed as a buyer.
To be listed as a buyer and get in and where we'll put a wristband on, you get to eat and drink and everything. Anybody can register online as a buyer, but we require a certain amount to be able to get into the inner area.
And I don't have to spend that $500 on one individual.
No.
I can break it up.
No, you can break it up however you like.
But if I'm not going to be able to make the auction, but I still want to participate, I can throw $20, I can throw $50, I can throw whatever I need
Certainly,
to.
it's called an add-on.
Right.
And you can do it in real time, is, from what we understand, on the auction that, and the link will be provided it is provided online at buyer registration, and you can put any amounts I think it'll take, and you can even pay online.
And so what is the goal for the auction this year?
We, as Bear County Junior Livestock Show, have never hit 500,000. However, I would rather my goal be to meet what the other surrounding counties. I would rather my goal be close to the $1 million that everybody hits. But I don't want to put goals low. It doesn't make sense to make low goals, not to me. So that's my option. I want $1 million option. These kids deserve it. They work real hard. And yes, I realize that the animal's not selling, but to feed these animals, this gives them that start.
Mariah Robinson,
And that's something that we need to point out, because some of these individuals
979 and 977.
may not, or even if they do go to the major show, they may not make the sale there. So they could continue raising this animal for another month or two, and their maximum payout could be $200-300 for that animal, and that's it.
Yes.
So the auction proceeds allow them to pay their bills from this year, hopefully set aside money for next year.
Next year's projects, yes.
Or if they're seniors, set aside money so that when they continue their education, it's there.
Yes.
So this is a very important day for 4-H and FFA and Bear County Junior Livestock.
Yeah, I agree completely. I do. There's, I would say the majority of the kids that get out of our auction are not going to make much money at the major auctions. That's nothing against them. It's more competitive, and you're competing with everybody from the state. So that's the way things are. They know it, but they have fun. This is what they do.
And this is a way for members of the community to pay back, but also give the exhibitor a pat on the back and say, hey, come back next year. Hey, do well in college.
Right.
Let me help out with this.
We are getting ready to do our senior showmanship. With that being said, if I could have our junior showmanship make the way to our holding area, number 345, 377, 347, and 312.
I'm going to answer that question that you just said,
yes.
And I'm going to add to it a little bit, because you hit right on what I say. This auction is probably one of the most important things to keep things going. We see families that have been doing this for years, but I love it when somebody comes in and say, hey, we're new to it. We're going to do rabbits. We're going to do arts and crafts. We're going to do this. We hope that we can, if you get the auction up to a certain point, we can add shows and we can attract more kids, and we can have it at a better time of year or something like that. There's things we can do, but it has to have the support, and there's no better way, in my opinion, and I'm biased, there's no better way to support your local kids.
Absolutely. Are there still need for volunteers?
Absolutely. We've come to find out that with the technical parts of it, and there's certain little areas of expertise actually is to seek out volunteers. A volunteer, you can volunteer to do anything. Come in, help if you need to jump in the ring, and you can help. But to become a board member, we do have an application, and you're going to make every meeting, and you got to do the mundane decisions that we do all year long, because this place is used also for community service. Community rents a facility. It's a nice facility to rent, and right now it's fairly cheap, but there's volunteers that we need for all kinds of positions.
And so they can find that application on the website as well?
Not yet. I haven't, I'll admit, I haven't put it on there. I actually send me an email at bcjls.com, and I will send an application. Yes, sir.
Perfect. And so why is this program so important to the young people, but not only the young people, but the community in general?
Best answer, I would say, is come up here and just talk to some of these kids. Or go to that the Kubota site. When I was competing for the $100,000, I had a few kids up, and it's on YouTube, I believe. And when you see those kids and how they handle themselves, how they dress, how they act, that's what it's about. I just love these kids. I think they're fantastic.
And speaking of kids, we're going to have the opportunity to visit with quite a few of the exhibitors later in the day.
Yes.
As the pig show goes on. So when do you start planning for 2022?
Yesterday. It never stops. It never stops. In fact, the little glitches that we come across this year, make note, and rule change or something like that. There's always something different. Parking, what we need and everything. It never stops. Honestly, I think for me it's like a 24-hour job. But so it's all the volunteers. I don't think it ever leaves their mind all year long.
So, in wrapping things up, what is the one thing that you want people to walk away from BCJLS experience?
Only just the kids, the exhibitors. Watch them, how they handle themselves, how they get competition out in the ring. It's cutthroat competition out there right now, but then they'll come in here and you watch them, they're all friends, they're all helping each other back there. And then what they do beyond. Look at their sisters and brothers that are older than them and how the younger ones are doing it now and how the other ones have grown up, had their kids. I've seen that several generations come through here and they just keep doing it. And they come back because of the program. So agriculture is just an enormous opportunity for jobs, for the learning experience, and life experience. So.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. And we're going to be wrapping up Showmanship here in just a little bit. And then they're going to be taking a break, and then we will be back with you for the market swine. So watch and encourage these showmen as they compete, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it. When do you want the
Start at market.
Start market? I'll see what class she's in. She's going to be Duroc, so it'll be at least probably class 5 or something. You get the market there?
Oh, she's class.
It's going to be Berkshire. Duroc's like the second one, isn't it? Yeah, like, I don't know what the weight is, but she's, yeah. So she's like 4.
Or they're off the...
Okay.
Alright, well, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be out here getting to start with Showmanship, and it's last time to do some more Showmanship later, and so we're getting a bit of a break right now, and we got a good group of senior Showmanship at our breeding show, so I'll just start by asking if we could all just put our hands together for our senior Showmanship exhibitors. I guess just to give a little bit of insight, what it took to get back out here. In my opinion, kind of watching the show and just kind of taking notes and writing down these exhibitors' back numbers, why they got called back. They're exhibitors that came in strong, made a strong first impression, were able to give the judge a good view right away. And they had respect for both other exhibitors and the judge. Whenever those hogs are coming in the gate, let's say on this side of the ring, and then once the class is fully in and we're showing pigs, we're just making smooth and consistent passes and making smooth turns. I think it's important to keep our pigs' heads up, but at the same time, I don't want to work our head so much that it causes our pig to be short and choppy with how they're driving. I want to get our pigs moving and then focus on getting their heads up. There's a few exhibitors today that worked real hard at getting their heads up, and that's good, and I appreciate that, and I know a lot of judges do, but in my personal opinion, I'd like to also keep hogs moving smooth. That helps the judge get a better read and opinion on your pig, and so I think it helps everybody out. And so just a few things that kind of took to get back in my opinion. And so with that being said, although I think, we're working with kind of the cream of the crop here in the senior showmanship drive or breeding show, there's a couple of them that just took it to another level in my opinion. Just to highlight those few that not only made a strong impression on me during the actual show, but since we've been in here, we're strong out of the gate. Their hogs are presented extremely well in terms of skin and hair and freshness. They're aggressive with their views, but yet at the same time, I know when to kind of take some time off if I'm not necessarily on their side of the ring, or if my back's turned to them, they don't overdrive their hogs. And they keep everything just smooth and natural, very smooth passes, long, smooth turns, not short, and very rigid turns where the hogs kind of jab their legs in the ground. We want long, smooth turns. And so those exhibitors that kind of made the final cut for me out here would be in no particular order: the young man to my right, young lady back there showing a Chester gilt, young lady in the pink showing that Duroc gilt, and the young lady's Landrace gilt in the pink shirt. Those are probably my top 4 out here. And so I think you can get a lot of different guys that place these a lot of different ways. And so nothing to take away from those exhibitors I didn't highlight. Just make sure that we keep working hard. Different day, different judge. You could be the one that wins. And so keep that in mind. Showmanship is my favorite thing to judge because I love rewarding good showmen. It doesn't matter how you did in the show. There's lots of these hogs that I watched that didn't get up in the top end of their class. There's some that did, but there's some that didn't. That didn't make a difference whether you made it out here or not. What matters is how good of a showman you were, in my opinion. And that's why you're still out here. So with all that being said, not to be too long-winded, my pick to win is someone that I thought was very aggressive, but at the same time was very calm and kind of consistent and laid back. And so if you can blend those two things and have the right intensity to be aggressive and get your views to work hard to show the judge your pig, at the same time not overdrive and stay calm and laid back and have complete control of your pig while still having a fresh skin, well-presented pig, that's what's going to take you underneath. Young man in the white shirt driving the Yorkshire Gilt team here at Champion Senior Stone.
Our showmanship senior winner is Nelson Taylor with East Central FFA. Facility Solutions LLC was the sponsor for the belt buckle. Congratulations to all of you. You did a great job today. We are getting ready for our junior showmanship, and again, we should have those in the holding pen. We have number 345, 377, 347, and 312.
That's exactly what I did, Danny. Now look, there's me right there. I got you in here. Hey. Let go.
gonna go get something to eat real quick?
After we complete our junior showmanship for the breeding, we are going to take a 30-minute break before we start the market time, so everyone has an opportunity to get something to eat, drink, be merry.
Well, smaller group here in junior showmanship, and only four, I believe, four got kept back, and so I spent some time talking to each one of them, letting them know some things that I thought they did really well, and then some things maybe that we can work on, continue to work on at home, not only with this particular project, but kind of just down the road as they get older and get more mature. And so, first off, let's put our hands together though, for these four junior exhibitors that made it back. Kind of as a whole, and it's expected as junior exhibitors that are a bit younger, maybe some things that we struggle with, just as a general consensus of junior showmen versus our senior showmen that were just in the ring amongst the group that didn't make it back as well. One thing I'd like to see as a judge is it's tough whenever these pigs get out in the ring for the second, third, fourth time, but we got to try real hard to keep those pigs in the middle of the ring and away from the corners and keep those pigs moving and making long passes to help a judge get a good look at their pig during the show. And so that's one thing to work on. And just like I touched on as well earlier a moment ago, I think it's awesome to see these juniors working so hard to keep their pig's head up. But at the same time, I want those hogs to look natural in motion. And sometimes maybe we can be a bit too much with the whip on their head and make them want to stop and start and stop and start. Instead, I'd like to keep those hogs moving, make smooth passes like I talked about before. And so I won't go too much further in detail there. But with that being said, the last thing I'll say is there's a young man in here, I think, he's an incredible showman. He's got a bit of an advantage, being a little older than the rest maybe, but it doesn't matter. I think he could stand around with the senior showman that just were in the ring a second ago. I think he does a killer job. Young man on the far side with the big throughout deal. Congratulations, you're a champion junior showman.
Our junior showmanship winner is Joel Pooley with East Central FFA. The belt buckle is sponsored by Walker Equipment. Congratulations, great job everyone. This does conclude the breeding show for the day. Thank you for everyone for watching and participating. We are going to take a 30-minute break. At 1:15 we will begin the market show. We will be going in alphabetical order, so our first class up will be the Burks. And again, we started around 1:15.